Gender equality is a fundamental human right, and gender discrimination is a breach of that right. Gender disparities begin in childhood and are currently restricting the lifelong potential of children all around the world, with girls bearing the brunt of the burden. Gender discrimination and gender disparity are protected by federal, state, and local laws. In addition, both law and policy recognize the need of fostering gender equality in attaining foreign policy goals for a more prosperous and peaceful world. The globe has progressed in the pursuit of gender equality over time. In many parts of the globe, women have more political participation, economic possibilities, and access to better healthcare. True gender equality, according to the World Economic Forum, will not be achieved for another century.
The first philosophical view towards gender inequality is feminism. Philosophical feminism arose during the women's movement of the 1960s and 1970s. At that period, women start to question why there are too less women in many academic disciplines, including philosophy field. When it is late 20th century, women's contributions and issues are seldom being concerned. The women are even have low status in public and being excluded from public, such as they cannot make money by themselves and cannot go out. There are three types of feminism, and they have different views towards gender inequality. The first type of feminism is liberal feminism. The second type of feminism is socialist feminism. And the last type of feminism is radical feminism. The first type of feminism is liberal feminism. Liberal feminism defends the reforms designed to make women's equality a social and political reality. In their opinion, each and every boys and girls are raised in the same way. Thus, they should be treated equally when they grow up. So, the way of channeling women and men into different and unequal social roles is not accurate. Liberal feminists advocate gender-neutral forms of education and child rearing. They particularly focus on protecting and extending the right. So, women will have less worries to pursue self-chosen goals. Well, liberal feminist is Susan Moller-Okin, and she is also the author of the book Towards a Humanist Justice. The second type of feminism is socialist feminism. Socialist feminism applies the core liberal values of freedom and equality to address women's concerns. In their opinion, unpaid caregiving and homemaking that women are expected to perform are equally indispensable forms of labor, and that the sexual division of labor that assigns most domestic work to women is exploitative. They also objected to the double day of work that burdens most women who have children and who work outside the home. Likewise, they condemned the economic dependency and insecurity of stay-at-home mothers and the low salaries of child care workers. There are two socialist feminists who are Alison Jaggar and Iris Marion Young. Alison Jaggar is also an author for her book, which is entitled as Gender and Global Justice. Well, for Iris Marion Young, she is being also an author for her book, which entitled Justice and Politics of Difference. She is also being famous with her insightful quotes. One of the quotes is, "Breasts are a scandal because they shatter the border between motherhood and sexuality, which encourages people to look at breasts in a correct way." third type of feminism is radical feminism. In the point of view of radical feminism, male heterosexuality objectifies the female body and makes the domination and degradation of women a source of erotic stimulation. Such assertions were the basis of Catherine McKinnon's and Andrea Dworkin's campaigns in the 1980s and 1990s against sexual harassment and pornography. So, there are two radical feminists who are Catherine McKinnon and Andrea Dworkin. Next, metaphysics is the second philosophical view towards gender inequality. As what we know, metaphysics is the study of the basic structure of reality, of what there is and what it is like. It considers, for example, concepts such as identity, causation, substance, and kind. Thus, in gender inequality, it will be considered the structure of social reality and the relationship between the social world and the natural world. Most of the metaphysics feminists will ask about the extent of social frameworks for understanding the world are distorting in ways that privilege men or masculinity. If we refer to the view from Simone de Beauvoir, he identifies the feminine construction as what is opposed to masculine. There are two themes that are interconnected in metaphysics feminists. The first theme is social construction of gender, and the second theme is the danger of dualistic thinking or gender dualism. The first theme is social construction of gender, which is we need to break the stereotypes. As what we know, gender is not an essential category. The repetitive performance of male and female in accordance with social norms reifies the categories, creating the appearance of a naturalized and essential binary. Gender is never a stable descriptor of an individual, but an individual is always doing gender, performing, or deviating from the socially accepted performance of gender stereotypes. Doing gender is not just about acting in a particular way. We need to embody and believing certain gender norms and engaging in practices that map onto those norms. This performance normalizes the essentialism of gender categories. In other words, by doing gender, we reinforce the notion that there are only two mutually exclusive categories of gender. The internalized belief that men and women are essentially different is what makes men and women behave in ways that appear essentially different. Gender is maintained as a category through socially constructed displays of gender, and it should not be the stereotypes. The second theme is the danger of dualistic thinking, or as what we know, the gender dualism. It is because a person can embody feminine qualities and be a man, and the same applies to a woman. Instead of separating, these characteristics are really two parts of a bow. In Western world, gender is seen as either men or women. Anything that cannot be deleted
An unprecedented number of countries have laws against domestic violence and sexual assault. However, these laws often go ignored, jeopardizing women and girls' rights of their safety and justice. The extent of sexual violence towards women and young girls is an extreme violation of human rights. The gender pay gap measures the difference in average earnings between male and female employees. Employers can promote gender equality in the workplace by being transparent about wages to ensure women aren't receiving less than men in equivalent roles. You can also alter the language within your lessons to help expand students' perspectives beyond gender stereotypes. Similarly, you shouldn't refer to stereotypical characteristics like boys don't cry or girls don't fight. This language lays a foundation that may limit students' understanding of gender roles. Girls Not Brides is one of the most prominent organizations working to raise awareness on these issues by partnering with more than 1,000 civil societies across the globe.
Gender equality is not only a basic human right but also a prerequisite for a peaceful, successful and long-term future. Gender equality refers to a society in which men and women as well as girls and boys have equal access to resources, opportunities and safeguards.